Good morning. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Veteran Services and the town of Plymouth, I welcome each and every one of you on this 11th day of the 11th month. Would you kindly please stand and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you for coming, and I ask that each of you remain standing as I welcome Phil Ryan, Chaplain of Post 40, to deliver the opening prayer.
Uncover. As we meet here for the purpose of setting aside a day to remember for all those who have paid the price of peace, accept our gratitude and make us more worthy of their sacrifices. Help us to follow more closely thy ways, that peace and goodwill might abound throughout the world. Thank you for the many blessings which thou hast given to our country, and grant that we may be enabled to use them better to thy service. Lead us all to make mindfulness and fellowship, which makes for the establishment and maintenance of rightful and abiding peace. Through our faith and in thy power, we make our prayer. Eternal God, we praise thee again for the remembrance of those who have fought and died for this great land. Amen. Amen.
Please be seated. Thank you, Phil. Looking out here today, I'm pleasantly shocked, and if I had known that our crowd was going to be this big, we certainly would have done it downstairs. So I'm sorry for that, but thank you all for all coming out. At this time, I would like the Plymouth Band to ask them to perform the national anthem for us, please. Again, welcome everyone. I would like to thank our town manager, Eric Bernese, who cannot be here with us today. Thank you for your continued military service to our country. I'd also like to take a moment to thank my son Andrew, who's currently serving, and all the other young men and women who are serving and protecting our country every day. I would also like to welcome Jim Campbell, State Director for Senator Ed Markey, our town officials, Charlie Bletzer from the Select Board, Mike Jackman from Congressman Keating's office, Rep. Matt Moratori, who's representing the delegation. Thank you all for coming. Thank you. And of course, to all of our veterans and their families. A special thank you to Colonel Ed Connor, who always makes the trip down from New Hampshire for our veterans events. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your continued service and dedication to our veterans. It is truly an honor to know you. I also had the honor yesterday of attending the veterans ceremony at the high school yesterday, and two of our World War II veterans were there. One of them is fortunate today to join us, Artie Shaw. Thank you for your service. One person that can't be with us today is Everett Landman, a lifelong resident of Plymouth who turned 100 this past year. Everett served on the USS Bunker Hill and survived the attack while he was on the Bunker Hill. God bless him and all of his counterparts, the greatest generation. Thank you. At this time, I would like to invite the commanders from each of our local veterans group to come up and say a few words about their organization. But first, I'm going to begin with a brief description of what my office does, because a lot of people might not know. We are located at the town hall on the first floor. We offer support to veterans and their families to include benefits awareness, filing claims on both federal and state levels. We also have a gift account, which was started many years ago when I first became the VSO here, and we've had many contributors. But today, I would really like to thank Hannah Goodrich. This young lady single-handedly went around the town of Plymouth to the businesses and raised over $10,000 for our veterans in need. There's really not enough words to say about this young lady, who certainly goes above and beyond in everything she does. Thank you so much, Hannah.
You're welcome.
We also perform various duties in dispersing and administering the state veterans programs for our veterans that are financially disadvantaged and may need financial assistance and help with medical benefits. We coordinate flag placement on the graves for all of our veterans. We assist in food drives and coordinate such ceremonies such as today, and much more. It is truly a great job that I have been entrusted with. I would also like to thank my assistant, Joanne Yours, who also couldn't be here today, but she also does so much to make our Veterans Office a successful office. At this time, I'd like to invite Brad Freeman up to speak about American Legion Post 40. Brad?
Good morning, everyone, and happy Veterans Day. As you know, my name is Brad Freeman. I'm the Post Adjutant of the American Legion Post 40, Color Guard Sergeant, Business Committee member. I sit on the Veterans Council, and I'm a founding member of our food pantry. I'm also a son of the American Legion Post 40 here in Plymouth. And by the look at my wife Penny's face out there, I think I may have volunteered a little too much up there. But I was asked to speak today about the membership within our organization and what it means to be a Legionnaire. First, I'd like to say that we are not on Seven Hills Road. We're the other place up the street on Federal Furnace Road. And if you're not familiar with the town, that our post and the VFW are often confused, but we are two different entities. First, I am a Navy veteran. I joined the service because my family served. I wanted to be a part of something bigger. Like my father in Vietnam and his father before him in World War II. I served alongside my brother. He spent time in the Persian Gulf. He chose to be one of those fleet sailors, though, on a boat and stuff. But I myself chose a different path. I became a landlocked sailor, the Seabees. It was my choice. Construimus Batimus is Latin for we build, we fight, and can do. Those are our mottos, and to this day I keep them with me. I kept my grandfather happy by wearing those dress blues, but only once or twice a year for an inspection or maybe a ball or two. But I was still serving the Navy, but under a very different capacity. That's another story, a long one, and it's for another time. But I left for something bigger than me as well. And I found it in boot camp, on the construction aid school. Serving almost 6 years overseas and here in the state to seem like a blur, and if I could done my 20 and retired, I probably would have. And if you ask me if I'd do it again, I'd do it in a heartbeat. After my enlistment, I returned home, and I was busy starting a family of my own. And after a few years, we had a party for my son, Adam, at the Legion. I don't know, maybe his third or fourth birthday. But I was there with families and friends, and there was members there. And I was asked to join. And my reply, I can't, I'm too busy. The next time I was there, it happened again, and so on. But I remember the Legion as a place where my family went, for functions, weddings, or just every other Saturday, it seemed like. But then I remember my childhood being there with my family and friends, and some of them are here now in this room. But I also remember my grandfather being there, my great aunt being there, cousins, and again, family, friends. There's a place that was there for veterans and their families to gather, volunteer, give back to others who need support, and it was just an overall good place to be. It's the same today. Families, generations of people who come to give because their families have given to help our veterans in this community. To me, this is a big part of the Legion. There are other groups in the Legion, such as the Sons of the American Legion, the Ladies Auxiliary, and our Legion Riders. They help form a group called the Legion Family. These are groups that give support to the post and provide ways to become a member besides being a veteran and being a part of a great organization. If you'd like to volunteer, we have a community food pantry on Tuesdays every week, and if you'd like to have some fun or just need to hang out with someone to talk to, we have bingo, we have karaoke, we have meat raffles, and a lot of other organized events to participate in as well. But our greatest achievement, I think, is the fact that we have over 900 members on our roster. We have 400 plus Ladies Auxiliary. There's 250 plus sons. We are the biggest Legion in the state, but those numbers don't reflect the fact that we, like other organizations in this town, like the VFW, Lions, Rotary, we're hurt, we need members. But we're looking for people like you to become members. Doesn't matter if you served, it could be your mother, your father, your brother, your grandmother. Talk to Roxanne, myself. We'll find out how you can be connected to service and become a member. So, if you can, stop by the table outside there. There's some information about our post. If not, flag me down or just come up to Federal Furnace 199 Federal Furnace Road and just ring the doorbell. They'll let you in. You can talk to someone, and we would appreciate that. But lastly, I'd like to thank you all for your time today, showing support for us here in this town, and my brothers and sisters who have served or are currently serving. God bless you, and I thank you for your service.
Thank you, Brad. The American Legion is truly a great organization. And now I'd like to invite the commander of the VFW, Dennis Russell, up to speak about Post 1822.
Don't worry, it's only a half a page and it's large letters, not because I can't see, but my arms aren't long enough, so I'm kind of in denial here. I'd like to wish you all a very, very happy Veterans Day, and thank you and your families for the many sacrifices you have made. It's the families that need to be recognized today as well. You're the ones that have supported us through the years. My wife waited for me. I'm a Vietnam veteran, and we'll be celebrating 50 years next month. As a Vietnam veteran, I also wish all my fellow comrades welcome home. You deserve it. I'd just like to take a moment to recognize the efforts of Roxanne Whitbeck, our director here in town. She does an incredible job, day, night, whatever time of day it is, and answering phone calls, returning, going to visit veterans. She's just a wonderful, dedicated person, dedicated to veterans, dedicated to the veterans' families. Roxanne, thank you. I would like to speak briefly about the VFW, Post 1822 on 227 Mills Road, not too far from here. First, I would invite you to look at all the veterans organizations. The information out front is for your taking and reviewing. Pick one or all. You may join more than one, and you will find many, many good people dedicated to you and your families. I also want to, at this moment too, thank, and we get great support from our local police department. Chief Flynn is here with the honor guard to my right, your left, and thank you very much. The VFW offers many opportunities, and one that I believe is extremely important, and maybe the most important to our veterans, and that's the camaraderie with its members. Many veterans are a lot more comfortable talking to one another about the things that they've experienced. They share their thoughts. They sit down and just enjoy one another's company. It's huge. We serve our members and the community. A number of things that we do for the community. We don't have to advertise it, but we just do it. We get letters all the time for help and support. And we haven't, even during the COVID time, did not deny any of that. We host a dart night, horseshoes, or even a children's Christmas party, as well as contests for college tuitions, Patriots Pen, Voice of Democracy, a chance for students to earn some money for college and write an essay and record their thoughts on a particular theme. Food drives for those in need, all part of what we do for our community, for our veterans, and this is ongoing. And I just made a couple of calls just this past week because I anticipate this winter being in high demand, and we're not going to turn anybody down that needs a meal. Our service officer is available for benefit claims, and we frequently update you on the additions, the changes, and new benefits. You've earned them, and we will make sure that you receive them. We also have a national home to help veterans overcome the difficulties and challenges they may have. We put them up and provide for everything and help them get back on their feet so they can be productive and happy members of our community. Our Washington delegation will rally legislative support for you in many ways and making sure you receive what you have earned. So today, again, I wish you a very happy Veterans Day. I thank you, I thank your families. May God bless you, and may God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. And last but certainly not least, Bill Sweeney to speak on behalf of our local DAV chapter. Bill?
Thank you. Yeah, my name is Bill Sweeney. I'm a lifelong member since 1969 of Disabled American Veterans. I'm a relative newcomer to Chapter 72 William E. Bonney Post. I've been here 20 years, and I'm still one of the youngest there. Had the privilege of meeting many, many outstanding men and veterans over the years. We're located downstairs at Memorial Hall in the office. People before me have done a spectacular job in setting this Memorial Hall up for veterans, supporting veterans, with the assistance from both the American Legion and the VFW. I'm a life member of Whitman VFW Post, and that's because my dad was also a member, and my son. We were the only three-generational member originally there. Also American Legion member, 40 in Plymouth. Our office is located downstairs. And I gotta really praise Plymouth, the town of Plymouth, for the outstanding veterans display, which has been put together by many years of outstanding veterans that came long before me. If you ever go down to any of the offices down there at Lock-in, there are volumes of history of what the veterans have done from this town. And I really applaud anybody and everybody that had some assistance in do that. And I enjoyed, before I became accepted, I think it took 15 years, I had the privilege of listening to spectacular people and spectacular veterans. The display you have here is without doubt one of the best in the state. And I gotta give credit to one guy that I don't, Bob Davidson, who maintains, who is the guy he's the guy that's behind everybody and corrects everybody, with fun, and that was a joke, Bob. But we're open down there, and for me, the DAV has done some spectacular. I've been a member, I think I said, since 1969. I come from the city, but I'm 20 years here. And I tried to think of what to say today, and there's a lot I could say. I could go on for a while. But I just want to be very specific, and I want to read you our mission, what the DAV's mission is. It's simply stated and well stated. We are dedicated to a single purpose, empowering veterans to lead high-quality lives with respect and dignity. We accomplish this by ensuring that veterans and their families can access the full range of benefits available to them. Fighting for the interest of Americans' injured heroes on Capitol Hill. Educating the public about the great sacrifices and the needs for veterans transforming back to life. Providing free professional assistance to veterans and their families in obtaining benefits and services earned through military service and provided by the Department of Veterans Affairs and other agencies. And this is done by all your veterans groups, by the way. And it's needed, it's deserved. The sacrifices made by veterans go far beyond what most Americans do. And I thank you. Happy Veterans Day. And anybody who wants to come in and tour downstairs, glad to show it to our offices there. We're available at any time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Doug. We'd like to thank everybody for coming today and invite you to stay and enjoy some lunch with your fellow veterans. Please take a moment today to also remember our veterans that came before us and paved the way, protecting our country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Thank you all. Also, a special thank you for our PACTV, Mark McKinley and Carol McGilvery, for recording today's ceremony. Thank you very much. And certainly to Joe Goldberg, I'm not sure where he is, but Joe Goldberg, who goes above and beyond for all of our veterans events. Joe is a veteran as well. Thank you for your service, Joe, and your continued service to our town. In closing, I would like to invite Jim Cantwell and Mike Jackman to read a proclamation from Governor Baker.
Thank you so much, Roxanne. Roxanne, and for everyone, I was sitting next to Colonel Edward Timothy Connors, 30 years serving in our U.S. Army, and just a remarkable, remarkable life. And we talked about how we all hit the cosmic lottery to be born to live here in Plymouth or in the South Shore at this time in the world's history with all the crazy things happening. And so much of our safety, our security, our way of life is due to the great work of all the veterans here. So how about a round of applause for Colonel Ross? And it is no mistake for the great service that we have for all veterans here, because Senator Markey sent me to make sure. We had to see and meet once again to Roxanne Whitback, because one word for you, Roxanne, is just tenacious. What you do every day to make sure our veterans here get the proper food service. We have the best services here in Plymouth because of you and all the others here. We want to thank Veterans Council Brad Freeman, Dennis Russell, Bill Sweeney, the support that you engender with the incredible state delegation we have here, Matt Muraturi, Sue Moran, Kathy Lenatra, Charlie Bletzer and I served in the courts together. You do a tremendous job as our select person here. Charlie, thank you so much. Chief, we walked in together, Chief Dana Flynn, making sure with the honor guard. Plymouth High School Band, and a round of applause too for the Legion Bud Band. What a great job, you all. To show the bipartisan nature, because Mike Jackman runs Congressman Keating's office, I work for Senator Markey. It's a great honor to both be here today, but to reaffirm that today there are no red Americans, there are no blue Americans. We are all Americans, and we are so proud to be able to be here today. I have a proclamation from Governor Baker, and it reads, whereas since the Commonwealth's colonial days, thousands of men and women have served our country in defense of freedom and liberty. And whereas on November 11th, 1918, the armistice was signed in the forest of Compiègne by the Allied nations in Germany, ending World War I, the war to end all wars, after 4 years of conflict. And whereas, since that day, every November, people from around the nation have gathered to honor our veterans. And whereas there are approximately 300,000 veterans living here in Massachusetts, most of them well served here by you, Roxanne. And whereas today we're reminded of the great sacrifices and contributions of our veterans have made to all of our country. Now therefore, I, Charlie Baker, Governor of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, do hereby proclaim November 11th, 2022 to be Veterans Day, and urge all the citizens of the Commonwealth to take cognizance of this event and participate fittingly in its observance. Given in the Executive Chamber in Boston, this 11th day of November in the year 2022, signed by Governor Charlie Baker, Lieutenant Governor Karen Polito, and endorsed again by Secretary of State William Galvin. In recognition of that, Michael Jackman, Congressman Keating, and Senator Markey flew a flag over the Capitol that we would want to present to you today, Roxanne.
I'll just quickly, Jim thanked everyone in the room, which he usually does, so I'll just say thank you to all of our veterans. Happy Veterans Day. Just quickly, I run for Congressman Keating the Service Academy nomination process, and we're in the middle of that now. And every year we have outstanding candidates from the town of Plymouth, some who are successful and get accepted offers to the academies, some who don't, but are all, somehow making a contribution to their community or to their country, whether it's by going through ROTC or enlisting or at Mass Maritime or some of the other academies that they can attend. So it's no surprise to me coming here today and seeing all the people here, as we see every year, who cherish their veterans, honor their veterans, and come together as a community to say thank you to all of our veterans. So on behalf of Congressman Keating, again, thank you, and thank you, Roxanne, for having us here today. Thank you.
Wow, this is really such an honor. Thank you. At this time, I would ask the Bud Band to play taps in honor of all our deceased brothers and sisters. today's ceremony. Thank you all so much for coming, and please stay and join us for lunch. Thank you.